Hi, everybody. Welcome to the John Myer podcast. Now, today's topic is marketplace led growth and the rise of cloud commerce or cCommerce. But before we get to that, how about we give our guests a moment to introduce themselves?
Thanks, John, and thanks for having us on. My name's Bill Tarr. I'm a SaaS evangelist with a team called the AWS SaaS Factory, and we've been working a lot with the community builders this year. I'm really excited to be on with some of my favorite community builders, including yourself, of course, John.
Hi there, I'm Sean Falconer, and I lead marketing and developer relations at Skyflow. And I'm also an AWS community builder. And Skyflow is a data privacy vault that offers isolation, protection, and governance over sensitive customer data. So businesses integrate with our technology to offload a lot of the responsibility that they would normally take on to build secure, compliant, and essentially privacy safe infrastructure.
Thank you, John, for having us here. It's a great opportunity and talking to all of you. My name is Jay Kumar. I'm the founder and CTO of Labra.io. It's basically a cCommerce platform helping ISVs, consulting partner, distributor, and channel partners to actually get on the marketplace as well as a co-sell so they can be successful in their cloud commerce journey. And I'm here to discuss more about that.
Hi, my name is Brian Rinaldi. I'm a developer experience engineer at Launch Darkly. Launch Darkly is a feature management platform and experimentation platform. We allow you to control how you release features and to target features to particular individuals and things like that. I'm also a community builder as well, and I've been in developer relations for about 13 years.
Hi, everyone. John, thank you for having me on. Um, I am Yehuda Cohen. I lead the engineering team at Sela Cloud. Sela Cloud is a managed services and professional services partner. We work with a bunch of clouds, but AWS is our focus. Um, our team um, is a team of migrators, of builders, application developers, and of traditional IT folks. Um, I have three very little children. Um, and yeah,
So, real quick, before we kick things off, I'd like to thank Labra for sponsoring this with the AWS community builders. I'd like to thank Bill for actually reaching and put me in touch with everybody for this show. Jay, I'm going to ask you the question: is marketplace led growth specifically to SaaS providers?
Yeah, so and I'll tell you a little bit of history behind it, how I actually started. So then probably that can actually set the stage here. So I was working for a big enterprise company, and there I was actually driving the entire marketplace journey and the co-sell journey, and I was driving the entire engineering and the product management side of the house, and which I found that the amount of the energy, the amount of the money, and the time which was spent was, in my opinion, could have been much lesser. So I looked around and I thought, no, someone has to actually get out and build a solution so that it does not only help my current employer, it also help all the SaaS company and also increase the creation of the SaaS application, which entails to actually get a greater use for many companies and put in the marketplace. So I got out and then I started building this company Labra.io, and I'm very proud that there are it actually helped many big companies who were not looking at the building the SaaS application. They saw, oh, this is an opportunity. I can get on the marketplace and quickly uh, check whether my product is working or not working. So this was a quick test bed. So that's how actually I started. And I think the SaaS community plays an important role because you're not just building for the sake of building. You need to actually bring it to the customer so that they can get the benefit out of it. Right. So that's how I started, and looking forward to continue the journey along with the help of you all.
Brian, let me ask you a question. Why is the AWS Marketplace a great opportunity for SaaS companies or SaaS providers?
Well, I mean, I think anytime you can work with AWS, which is like this is the company that pretty much every look at this conference, every developer is here. It's like, I feel like every year I come here, this conference continues to get bigger, and that's why every company has to be here. And the marketplace is just a way to reach these developers directly. So I think it's an important part for any kind of SaaS developer, I mean, SaaS company to be able to reach directly to the developers who want to consume their products.
Sean, and talking about SaaS and being on the marketplace, what does it mean to you and your company?
So for us, it's a big opportunity around co-marketing, co-selling opportunities, and also, as Brian was mentioning, it's also a way to reach developers. Essentially, our customers were selling to engineering organizations. Where are they going to go to learn about new types of product offerings? And we're a new category of product. And a big part of our challenge as a company is how do we educate the market about what we're doing? And a great way to do that is by partnering with AWS and making ourselves available in a place like the marketplace.
Do you feel that being on the AWS Marketplace as a SaaS provider is an easy way for them to access new services rather than the old traditional way of reaching out, connecting, doing a sales call? Yeah, I want this. Can I get some free stuff? Yeah, it'll take about a month or two to install. Does this really remove a lot of barriers?
Yeah, I think you're basically creating something that's a little bit less friction. And I think when it comes to purchasing products and also integrating with products, especially from an engineering organization, you're looking for reducing how much time is it going to take me to actually get up and started with this? How do I test it? How do I essentially get started without necessarily having a conversation with the sales organization to learn how to use this product? And places like AWS Marketplace allow you to facilitate that entire transaction and interaction much more seamlessly. And you can take advantage of that as a startup without having to build all that stuff yourself.
Bill, can you talk to me about what the SaaS Factory is or does?
Yeah, thanks, John. So our team is a combination team. We have both technical resources and business resources who can help customers who are on their journey to building SaaS, whether they're new to building SaaS and they're just starting to build a new product, or whether they have an existing SaaS product and they're looking to optimize that SaaS product on AWS. I myself, I'm on the technical side. So, for example, if you were trying to build on AWS, we might talk to you about how to enforce tenant isolation in specific AWS services, or how to use tenant identity to create all of the security and all of the tenant isolation in your entire stack to make sure that the data of all of your tenants is secure and that all of the experience of your customers meets the expectations, the SLAs that they're expecting from your product.
So you're ultimately helping them build a SaaS product or take their product and put it into as a SaaS product. And then do you help them potentially get on the AWS Marketplace, or you guide them towards that? You talk to them about the value of it?
Absolutely. Every customer we talk to, one of the first items we talk to them about is whether their go to market journey is eventually going to lead them to AWS Marketplace. And for most customers, there's a lot of benefit out of getting listed on AWS Marketplace. It's a benefit to their customers who can benefit from purchasing on Marketplace, getting a single bill from AWS that includes all of those purchase costs. So if I bought Skyflow, for example, through AWS Marketplace, rather than getting a separate bill, I get a single AWS bill that includes Skyflow on my AWS bill. And of course, for the sellers themselves, it has the benefit of providing a clean and easy way to get to market and to do subscription based listings, contract based listings, have some flexibility to how they build their customers. And of course, AWS handles the billing side of that on their behalf.
Yuta, let me ask you the same question with regards to SaaS. What are your feelings on SaaS versus the other traditional methodologies of installing an application, building it, and deploying it out? Does SaaS work well for you, or do you think it works well for others?
So yeah, I think that SaaS is really the evolution of um, everything which we've been doing in the cloud to get um, off of on-premise installations, which are really hard to manage, really hard to maintain, and it's about trying to remove the friction in the customer experience, in the acquisition process, in the billing process. And I think that the AWS Marketplace, in particular, is a really, really great tool to enable customers to gain some of the difficult parts of SaaS for free, or not for free, but with some amount of integration, um, and not have to build it all themselves. As Bill said, I think like there are a lot of different um, trade-offs and things to keep in mind when you're building SaaS products, and to have access to a solution which works out of the box at scale for customers is a really, really big one.
Brian, is
Yeah.
building a SaaS product profitable for a company to be on the AWS Marketplace, or can I just build a SaaS product outside of the AWS Marketplace and feel that it's going to provide value?
I mean, I think you can do both. I don't know why, if you could be on the AWS Marketplace, why you wouldn't be on the AWS Marketplace. But I mean, obviously, there are examples of companies who've been successful either prior to being on the AWS Marketplace. I mean, LaunchDarkly was a company before we were on the AWS Marketplace, and we used AWS heavily, but kind of makes sense for us to be there. But I kind of want to follow on the point made before, which is just like I think from a developer's perspective, SaaS is I look back, I've been a developer for 20 some odd years. I lose track after a certain point, and how difficult it was to do certain things way back when. And now I need to I can be creative and be more innovative because I can just take a new service and drop that in and just start to kind of really innovate on the product and focus less on some of these, how I implement very particular types of services when somebody else has that expertise and I just drop that in. I just think SaaS enables us to build so much more incredible things because we're not focused on I don't have to build for an example, I don't ever want to have to build auth again in my life. And the fact that I don't have to just feels great. And I save so much time as a developer not having to worry about that.
Yeah, I think as a startup, you don't have to go and build your own CRM, and you don't have to go build your own marketing automation platform. Or, as an engineering organization, I can offload auth and other managed services and concentrate on actually building the product that I was meant to build to serve a new need for customers rather than essentially building up and standing up all this infrastructure. Or even, 20 years ago when dinosaurs, like I guess like Brian and I started our careers, you spent the first 2 years is building your own data center. You essentially hardwiring infrastructure to your own data center to serve customers. That's gone away. I can use cloud services like AWS to be up and running instantly, and that is amazing from a go-to-market standpoint. And I think that's why we continue to see accelerated growth of companies that are building really meaningful companies that are generating like lots of revenue, but also value for businesses very, very quickly now.
I
Jay,
mean,
what's your thoughts on this?
yeah, there's one thing I would like to point out here that right now marketplace is in nascent state, right? It has started last 5 years, but there are tons of things needs to be done there. So one cool thing about SaaS is that you basically deploy it. You don't even need to deploy. I mean, sometimes you have to deploy in the particular tenant and the environment, but most of the time it runs on the cloud. But there is one key component of the SaaS is that metering and billing, right? How do you charge your customer? Do you need to do any billing integration and all those kind of things? Cloud marketplace actually eliminate those kind of needs for you, right? However, the metering is something which you still need to build. So there will be definitely innovation coming up. Like we are doing something where you just plug in your SaaS and then you start the billing on the cloud marketplace. But that's the area which I think the SaaS builder should also think about. That not only just building, how you can make money out of it, how to bill it, like what is your pricing mechanism should look like. All those things need to be factored in it. So I was actually talking to the many product leaders, like a chief product officer and all those things. And what I mentioned to them is that you need to start thinking about market from day one when you're doing your roadmap planning, because marketplace give you a stage where you actually put your product for the testing purpose, or you can think of it as a testing bed, that whether it's getting adoption or not adoption, right? Quickly, it's like a fail fast. It's work, fine. What even the changes you need to do? Let's make the changes and deploy it further, right? So having thinking in that manner, it needs to start from the product management perspective from the day one. Hey, we're going to launch it on the marketplace, do the A/B testing, and then go from there. So all those things, I think there are many variables which also needs to be think about when you build a SaaS application.
I think that's a great point to talk about subscription based billing and how Marketplace can facilitate that. We've got great APIs built into the AWS Marketplace that make it easy for SaaS providers to get started, start billing in a number of different dimensions. You just have to identify the correct billing dimensions that you want to bill on, start sending that data to the Marketplace APIs, and you're billing your customers with very little overhead, right? So, and this is one of the areas where Labra and Ibex really help out, getting partners who help with those listings and help you get set up on Marketplace, because that could be one of the tougher parts of the journeys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like as he was saying that, talking about like developers would like to go to the marketplace, but you do not want developer to spend time like making a Stripe integration, right? It just defeat the purpose of like the speed with gives the marketplace, right? So those are the things that should also be thought about that, and that's already been solved on the marketplace.
Maybe one other point, which I don't know if we've brought up, is that I think when AWS has curated a set of apps, it's much easier to sell it to customers because it's been through AWS's vetting process as well as maybe partner vetting process. And I think that companies can purchase with much more confidence. And if you go and build your own Stripe integration, you don't get any of that.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yehuda actually makes a great point because AWS does a lot of the heavy lifting when they validate products or services that go on the marketplace. It's not like you went to that company specifically off of their website, you downloaded and installed, and you pray that it's actually going to work as it says, and it's going to have all the security stuff and the features involved in it. When you get on the AWS Marketplace through a valid process and a expedited process using products like Flyout, and I have to give a shout out because they actually helped me. I'm a customer testimonial and a user. But if you think about that, they vetted, they went through all the stuff, it was qualified, and now, like you mentioned, the trust is there. Bill, how big is having that trust and the security of building a SaaS product and getting it onto the marketplace is it for AWS customers and partners?
It's very important. So, a lot of the customers that I work with who are building SaaS are also consuming a lot of SaaS products. The knowledge that we've gone through what we call a foundational technical review, where AWS has gone in and validated the security of the product, especially since all of your data is now going up into this product. Having the knowledge that AWS has checked all of this out and made sure that all of the best practices are being followed is an important step for marketplace listings and an important step for the consumers of marketplace. So a lot of those enterprise customers who are building SaaS today are demanding that it be delivered through marketplace when they're buying SaaS themselves.
So, Jay, talk to me about having your offer on the marketplace. Is it really profitable to have your offer on the marketplace when you can buy the subscription easy, somebody's selling it, co-sellers are on there, private offers are available? I mean, it sounds like a lot of work to get on there. Is it really worth the effort?
Absolutely. But I would want to ask one question from you. Are you talking from the buyer's perspective or the seller perspective, profitability?
Oh, well, that's a good question. You know what? I'm going to say from the seller perspective,
Okay.
we've been talking about the buyer, the person who's going
Gotcha.
to be on there and put their application on there and getting it as an application on there. Let's flip it as the seller's
Okay.
portion of it.
That's a great question. So as I was mentioning earlier, that this is a quick testing bed, right? You do not need to invest a hell lot of money before you get to the marketplace. So there you are cutting the cost for getting on the onboarding, right? So that's already a huge saving. Apart from that, it also eliminates need of having lots of people for operationalizing the marketplace operations. So for example, there is something called private offer. Private offer means like ISPs have a private contract with the buyer rather than having there is a definitely the public listing is there. You can go and click and you can buy the product. But many companies in the B2B world, as you know, there's like a ticket size is pretty high, like $500,000 or 200,000 or 400,000. It's a big amount of money. So they always want to go to the sellers, negotiate on that. Having said that, AWS has actually streamlined all these process. The good news is that you basically click a button, you wanted to get the quotation, the seller actually create the private offer, send it to the customer. In addition to that, seller is also going to add some of the terms and conditions which they can customize. Or if they do not want, guess what? AWS has already a standard commitment or the standard terms and agreement, which actually the seller can use. So that means that they do not need to involve their legal people to actually craft this terms and agreement, right? So that is something also going to help you on the saving the cost there, right? Other part is like billing collection, the money collection. You are not running after actually customer, hey, customer, give me money, give me money, give me money. That is a big part for the seller, right? You always want the peace of mind that, hey, your money is coming to the bank on the right time or not. You will have the peace of mind. So all those things, considering all those things, the cost associated that if you do it yourself is humongous. So definitely there is a lots of benefits and cost saving.
All right, so I'm going to go around the room and I want to find out, do you remember the last thing that you purchased on the marketplace? And if you haven't, that's okay. It could have been a free trial and worked on. Brian, have you used the marketplace, did any subscriptions on it, checked it out, want to purchase something on the marketplace?
I've definitely checked it out. I haven't, I will admit, I haven't purchased anything yet.
What are you interested in?
Oh God. I mean,
There is so much on the marketplace that you can test out for free stuff, from like backups to installation of new softwares and services, visibility stuff, observability.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely looked into some of the observability stuff. So, I mean, I'd say like,
I
but
got
I'm
some
trying to,
homework for
yeah,
you.
I'm trying to remember names, and you put me on the spot. So
That's usually what happens when the cameras are on. I got some homework for you. Later on, after reInvent next week, I want you to check out the marketplace, and I want you to go through a purchase, and not when I say a purchase, a free one, because I don't want you to cost any money. And if you do, please spin it down. We're cost observability for it. And then I want you to post it and tag us saying, "Hey, look, John, I just purchased this one." And I want to know the process and how easy it was to utilize it. Okay.
Okay, will do.
There's this great company, Skyflow, that you can check out.
You know, yeah, I just heard of them, right?
And as he's on his phone now,
Yeah.
look at purchasing. John put me on the spot. I love that plugin, man. All right. Well, since you're on the spot right now, what was the last thing that you, and Skyflow cannot be one of those, by the way.
Actually, shout out to Cloud Storage Security. It's a company that we actually use. They provide automatic virus scans on like S3 buckets and so forth, and that's part of. We use them as an integration into our offering so that we can not only store files securely, but actually make sure that they're virus free and a few other things.
Yeah, so cloud storage security, actually, they are our customer. They are using the Labra platform for the co-selling and the marketplace. One thing I want to add, when you asked him question about like whether he has bought anything from the marketplace or not, um, marketplace, you have lots type of offering. It's not only SaaS. I know we are talking about the SaaS builder
Yep.
here, but I just wanted to touch base on the what are the other possibilities that exist there. You have the container based listing, right? You have the professional services also. Like if you want some professional services, you have AMI and those kind of listings as well. So if you wanted something on a container based, you go there, click the button, boom, done, all the deployment and everything. And the AWS actually launched something called Quick Launch yesterday, which actually makes life much easier because it's like you have CloudFormation template or Terraform and all those kind of things. It's boom, 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 done. So it's making like easier every day.
Jay, since you're actually on the spot right now, I'm not sure you went and purchased something, but what was the last product you got on there?
Oh,
Dun, dun, dun. Hey, you talk about Brian being on the spot.
so I think I bought Zoom.
You can buy Zoom on
Yeah.
the marketplace?
Yeah.
I think some guy, John Myer, has a marketplace listing. I think I saw it. You can buy some video editing, right?
You actually can. Thanks to Labra. You are on the marketplace. It's not about me, but thanks. Why did you purchase it? Did I go in there and give you a private offer?
Yes, I'm waiting for your private offer to come through right now.
I've been at reInvent. We've been a little slight busy, but we'll get to it.
Okay, all right. Just as long as you come back to me. But while we're here, you mentioned free tier, and you mentioned going on marketplace and downloading some free tier products.
Yep.
One of the customers I worked with last year, Dremio, has a great free tier offering for a community, and it's free until you decide you want to buy their enterprise version. So you can actually download and use a lot of products on marketplace for free, or try out the free trials, which might be limited term. This is another nice part of marketplace now, that they support free tier out of the box. You can actually, if you're going to list on marketplace, you can list it as a free tier. And for SaaS, we do find that these free tier offerings are very compelling to customers. We often find that giving them a limited term free tier gives them the opportunity to try it out and then make a purchasing decision on the marketplace. And, they've already gone through the trouble of purchasing some on the marketplace. Usually they'll follow through and purchase, and often with a private offer, as we're discussing.
I want to jump back to the tryout and the free tier in a second, but what was the last thing that you purchased or thought about purchasing on the marketplace?
So I actually do quite a lot of purchasing on the marketplace.
Oh, we have a frequent flyer.
On behalf of my customers, though.
Oh, okay.
And we actually, I think, purchased some Palo Alto security stuff, some Datadog stuff. I can't remember what was more recent. But yeah. And we actually also list a bunch of our professional services on the marketplace.
Did you start out with any of their free tier stuff before you actually purchased it?
Not with those products, but I have definitely used free tier products from the marketplace. There's a lot of, I suppose, things which like base AMIs, like CIS hardened AMIs, which are very important in deploying any high security workload, which you can gain access to via the marketplace as well, and those are free to use.
Sean, I'm going to spin something to you, and I've got a twofold question. And since you guys classified yourselves as dinosaurs, and I'm pretty sure you're somewhere around my age, and I'm not a dinosaur yet, but Sean, have you ever purchased and installed or tried to purchase a product outside of the marketplace? Right, the old style of actually getting it downloaded and installed. Give me my free trial license. What is the process? What's the feeling of that versus AWS Marketplace and having the same offering now on AWS Marketplace? Time, effort, frustration level.
So I think that it can be done in a similar, you can get some of the similar value. I think the big difference is that as the SaaS company, you don't have to build all the stuff to basically support that seamless experience. You're getting that for free listing in the marketplace. So that's kind of, I think, one of the biggest differentiators. You could create a great, SaaS experience. I think Stripe was mentioned earlier. They're well known for a great self-serve experience. And essentially what you're getting by, I think, listing in the marketplace is you're getting a lot of that stuff for free as a company. So as a consumer, I think that you can have a, matching experience, if I could be completely honest. But I think as a business, there's a lot of value in it because you're leveraging that and all of the things that AWS has learned about making it a great experience for the business and the consumer.
Bill, I want to learn a little bit more about SaaS Factory and how it relates to products and services on the marketplace. And then I want to tie kind of Jay into the conversation because what I feel here is we have a 3 tier, right? You're going to be talking to Skyflow, right? You want to be on the marketplace. You want to take it and make it a SaaS product, get it on there, and then Skyflow. And I'm not setting up for any business applications or sales here, but then you're going to be talking to Jay to get on the marketplace in an expedited fashion, right? Walk me through what the process is that you would be talking to a customer to ultimately develop their product utilizing SaaS Factory.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's almost like Inception, right? We can start off talking to a customer about what they're going to build. And often we'll be talking to them about Launch Darkly. We're talking to them about Skyflow because we don't want our customers to reinvent the wheel. So, Marketplace comes into the conversation early during some of the build decisions. So, as we're thinking about what we're going to build, what are the SaaS products we can use and how can we buy them through Marketplace? Because that's usually going to be the preferred method of buying for SaaS products. And then, of course, as we're getting them to develop, we want them to think about what their go to market motion is going to be. How are you going to deliver this to your customers? How are you going to bill your customers? What are the dimensions you want to bill your customers on? All of these questions we work with them on as we're developing the product. You have to build the instrumentation into your code so you can send that telemetry off to Marketplace to their APIs. And then once they're ready, they can deliver their product on Marketplace. And again, talking about some of those benefits, we want them to be thinking about who the customers are that they're going after. What are those customer profiles? If they're enterprise customers, especially, we want them to definitely get onto Marketplace. Most of the successful SaaS customers I've worked with go to market with Marketplace right out of the gate, especially, again, that enterprise space and that EDP that we've talked about, the enterprise discount plan that AWS offers to those customers. They're making a good commitment to spend on AWS. They're saying, hey, we're going to agree to spend $1 million in exchange for this discount. So that discount comes with, that's the spend amount that they have to lay out. Marketplace purchases count toward that. So it's important for anyone who's building SaaS to have that in mind. Who are those customer profiles? Would they have EDPs? Would that be something that their customers would benefit from? Because those customers often prefer those private offers. They're expecting to receive private offers. I don't think many large companies are buying off the rack, right?
That's actually a good question. Before I jump over there, like you have regular offers, right? Not even regular. You go to the subscription, you get it. Then you get an email notification that says, "Oh, hey, you got it. Don't buy it there. I got a private offer." It's like a yard sale to me. Like, hey, buddy, can I get a discount? Is there a lot of value in that still for customers? If you're offering it at 10,000 and then you ultimately give them a private offer at 9,000, are you marketing your product up even more to cover the cost, or is it like what? It just doesn't seem to me like we both getting the value out of it. I'm getting a cheaper discount, but am I making what I should be for my product?
Yeah, and of course, those decisions about how they price their product and what they're going to list it for on Marketplace are an individual decision. It's usually very customized. What's the value that you're providing? How do your customers perceive that value? And you want to price based on those basis, right? So you're setting up this value. It really depends on the pricing and the dimensions you're going to be used, what sort of discount you might be able to offer. But those enterprise negotiations will go through. There might be channel partners involved. There might be more issues in terms of how you might be able to price this and how far you could discount it. But it would be on a case by case basis. But John, before we move off and go back over here, I did want to make a call out. Ibex Lab is actually one of our SaaS competency partners. So we've evaluated Ibex Labs and studied their ability, as is Sela, by the way, their ability to deliver SaaS, to be able to build SaaS on their customers' behalfs. So when you're dealing with Ibex Labs, you're not only getting all of this marketplace expertise, you're also getting a tremendous amount of SaaS expertise. And we work with both of these teams quite a bit. So for those people who are building SaaS, this can be another motion we go through. We don't just simply provide the expertise on building SaaS. We also rely on our partners and their ability to build SaaS. And this really helps us to scale and help as many customers as possible build SaaS. So I want to say also thank you to Ibex Labs and to Sela for being our partners as well.
Well, first, congratulations, Jay. That is tremendous to receive the competency. Bill, to give you the shout out for it. Also, congratulations. This is something that's not taken lightly, right? The competency is hard to achieve. You have to do the work, a number of them, before you can actually achieve it. You just don't earn it through paper and saying we wrote the document, here it is. You have to do X amount of SaaS builds onto the marketplace. You have to build a SaaS. You have to show that you have the knowledge for it. So it does take a lot of time and effort. So congratulations both. Jay, I'm going to follow up on my previous question, and I want to talk about the other aspect of that Bill and his team and everybody's working towards a SaaS to get on the marketplace. Now we got Skyflow. It's a SaaS ready thing. How easy? What's the process to get onto the marketplace?
Oh, it's very easy because all the hard work has already been done on developing the software, right?
Wait. Congratulations, Bill and your team, for doing all the hard work. Okay, Skyflow, you guys, hey, congratulations.
Okay, so I'll take you to the journey of the second half of the journey where you basically come to the marketplace. So what we found is that lots of ISPs were not able to understand that how these things works. There is education and awareness has always been challenged. It's not only with the AWS, it's all with the enterprise or any marketplace kind of systems, right? So what we have done is we have built a platform. On that platform, you have an intuitive UI where it's a self-explanatory UI so that you can fill out those information. For example, like what is the product name? What does the product do? What is the highlight of the product? Then after you can put your pricing information. But the good part is that, as I was telling earlier, that we have every customer has a dedicated account manager whose job is to basically guide them that what is the pricing strategy should look like. Because we have works with tons of customers, ISVs, and the software developers. So we know that what has been working, what has not been working. So we continue sharing those knowledge. Once that form has been filled up, you click the button, that's it. And after that, all the magic happens through the API. It goes to the AWS. AWS has its own waiting process. Since we have been working with AWS for quite a long time, so we understand that what works, what does not work, making sure that it goes to them. We made our intuitive UI such a way it's a dump proof that it eliminates your chance to make any mistakes, so that it gets rejected. So all those things has been already taken care by the platform. So that's what is there. There is one thing which I would like to add. What Bill mentioned about is the build part, like WAFR and FTR, what he was mentioning. So if it is done, that's great. There is something called vendor insight, which is about like a weighting of your product, whether it's like SOC 2 compliant, GDPR compliant, CCPA compliant, and all those kind of things. So we also add those value to many customer who wants to get the vendor, because it gives you ability to differentiate your product in the marketplace, because you are weighted product. So consumer will look at your product, think, oh, it's already been weighted. Why should buy that product? That's much secure. That's much scalable. So those kind of things we also do. But the story does not stop there. Once you get on the marketplace, after that you have to operationalize this, right? So you need to start creating the private offer, or the public offer is coming. It's up to you that whether you want to do it through your CRM or through our platform UI, because most of the companies, they have CRM. Their source of truth is staying in the CRM. So it does not make any sense that the persona who is using our platform should be going out of the CRM to operationalize all those activities. So we actually build an application which is running on the CRMs from where you can operationalize. The good part is that those persona do not need to learn anything new. There is no learning curve, right? Suppose you are driving a Honda Civic. If I ask you to drive a like some other car, like SUV or Hummer, right? So it will be different. So similarly, we just do everything where the customers are. We meet the customer where they are. So it's quite easy. So I
Brian,
got the Skyflow on the marketplace. Now you need to give me commission. Okay.
I'm curious though, like, is it how would you also help like them differentiate themselves on the marketplace? Like, how do you get past that point when like, okay, I'm there, but there's lots of things there.
That's a great question. I'm thankful that you are asking that. So this is a common mistake where there are many SaaS developer. The company does is that they think, okay, I'm gonna put in the marketplace, and what? Guess what? Everybody will start coming and buying it. It doesn't happen that way, right? So what I was earlier telling you that we have worked with lots of customers. We have seen that they're listing what is working, what is not working. We have a close relationship with the AWS team, their BD team, their marketing team, their product marketing team, and they always share their use case or the success story with us. Same thing we do with them as well. So having those relationship and continuing serving so many customers, we have built some knowledge base. So when the product get listed, we tell them, hey, your product has this content. You may want to tweak to this one. You may want to tweak that one. Our platform also give you ability to actually do some sort of like A/B testing, where you can just like launch darkly, like, but it's not that sophisticated. Here you can change the content and see that how does it behaving. So those kind of stuff. Um, so mostly I'll say that go by our playbook, and you have the dedicated account manager which will help you out to setting up your pricing strategy, because that is very important. And it's a continuous process. You don't think that once you're done, that's it done. You will always have a competitor coming up. You will always have a like other competitor putting the lesser price. And how do you compete? You need to show all those values in the marketplace.
this actually brings up a good point. Updating your marketplace offering, continuously update it. How long does it take to actually update it or change it? Can I change it without going through a rigorous approval process? Because I have a new update that gets pulled down. It does some security enhancements.
Unfortunately, at the moment, you cannot do in the real time. Okay. However, the things has improved. Earlier, it was taking many days. Now it is taking very small amount of time, but it's not real time, because AWS also needs to make sure there is somebody can put some bad words out there. Somebody can put something, nasty there. So they need to make sure that that is well thought, right? So that's what is happening. However, using our own experience and the data which we have, we are going to implement some AI work there, which can actually tell that, hey, you have updated this one. What is the chance of it getting accepted versus rejected? You can get some score there, which can tells you, and you can get that in the real time.
So before we wrap things up, I'd like everybody to give a chance to kind of give some closing statement or remarks. Brian, what are your thoughts?
Well, clearly, I think I'm the only one in the room that has homework to do.
Don't worry, I gave it to you. You can tag me properly. If you get it to me by Wednesday, I will give you an A.
Oh, okay. I think I can do that. But yeah, no, this was a really great conversation. I mean, I gotta say, like, even though I've dealt with the marketplace, like I've learned a ton about it from you all. So this was really fabulous. And obviously, I hope that if people are looking for a feature management platform on the marketplace, they'll check out Launch Darkly.
All right, nice. Yehuda, what are your thoughts of this conversation?
I really enjoyed the conversation. Thanks, everyone. I think the one thing which maybe is worth mentioning, which we didn't mention, is that I think that yesterday or 2 days ago there was updated terms to marketplace pricing, and I think that it's now the margins are much better for sellers on the AWS Marketplace. I think it's a 3%
Yep.
cut to AWS now to start off with, and that gets lower as you sell more and more. And I think that that's like, it's a credit card processing fee. It's a very small amount, and for the amount of value that you get from the marketplace, I think that it's definitely worth checking out. But yeah, if anyone is looking to build on AWS or is looking for some help operating the AWS environment, definitely check us out at selacloud.com. Yeah, or get in touch with me.
All right, thank you, Yehuda. Bill, how about your closing remarks or statement on this conversation? Your thoughts?
John, I have so many things to close up here. So,
We only have. No, I'm just kidding.
why?
Excuse
No,
me.
so there's a few things I want to hit, John. One, if you're on AWS, if you're building SaaS or thinking about building SaaS, reach out to your account team and ask them to introduce you to the SaaS Factory or to nominate you for the SaaS Factory. We work with hundreds of customers every year. Some of those customers we work with directly. Others we refer to our partners like Sela and Ibex Labs. So there's lots of options for you to be able to get SaaS help. Don't feel like you have to do it yourself. And especially if you're doing marketplace listings, make sure you go with a marketplace, a list and sell partner like Ibex Labs. It can be challenging to learn all the ins and outs of marketplace. And what we were just talking about with that update journey, making sure that you get your pricing dimensions correct in the beginning goes a long way to making sure that your product is sustainable and you don't have to recreate it later, because it is a contract that you're entering with all of your customers. So you can't simply go and change all of your pricing terms mid plan. So you want to make sure that you have some expertise in marketplace that our partners can help provide. So we have all of that expertise in place. Make sure you take advantage of it. And if you're interested in building SaaS on AWS, you can also reach out directly to me. I'm happy to help point you in the right direction. Thanks, John.
Thanks, Bill. Sean, what are your thoughts?
I think, marketplace, even outside of AWS Marketplace, is a legitimate like go-to-market strategy. More and more companies are becoming platform companies that are essentially offering up their reach and their network to build on top of. And people are building legitimately large businesses using marketplaces as essentially their only go-to-market on, platforms like Shopify, Salesforce, AWS, and so on. And then in terms of Skyflow, if you're out there and you're trying to build with LLMs or analytics, and or it's trying to go globally and struggling with data residency requirements, check us out on the marketplace or check us out at skyflow.com, and we're happy to have a conversation.
Thank you. Thank you. Jay, your closing statement,
Yeah.
your thoughts.
I mean, I thoroughly enjoy talking to all of you. There are lots of great insights. So I'm really thankful to you guys who were able to share that with me. Especially, we have been very close to the SaaS factory, like you mentioned, that bringing lots of ISVs and the developers on the marketplace by building their SaaS. One thing, though, I would like to mention is that do not think about that just putting on the marketplace and that people will start buying that. There's something called co-selling as well. That means that you have to engage with the field seller of AWS, knowing them that what is the customers are looking for, building the relationship so that, it's a kind of flywheel. You basically put your product, you're putting the wheel, and then you need to make it moving so that it can start the selling process. So look after that as well. As Labra is providing both the capability, we have two products. One is for the co-sell and one for the marketplace. The good thing is that you get both of them in the same platform. You don't need to buy two different products. So if you're looking to get on the marketplace and getting the flywheel started, making money, then Labra.io is what you need to check. And our sister company is Ibex Lab, as Bill was talking about, which can help you getting your SaaS built then later.
All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining me. The first people I'd like to thank is Labra for sponsoring this. I really appreciate it. Bill, thank you for connecting me with all the AWS community builders. And I'd like to thank the AWS community builders for joining this conversation. I hope this is one of many. This has been an awesome discussion. Thank you so much. Well, everybody, this has been another awesome episode of the John Myer podcast. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and notify, because guess what? We're out of here.